Okay, in this video we're going to look at how we solve a quadratic by factoring. So you're still going to factor, it's just going to be a little bit different. And when you're solving, you have to make sure that your equation equals 0. This is really important. So we're going to look at this first one. It says m squared plus 3m plus 2 equals 0. So our equation equals 0, so we're good there. And what we're going to do is we're going to factor, like we have been. So factors of 2 that add up to 3. So that would be 2 and 1. So you have m plus 2 and m plus 1, and they equal 0. And now what you do, this is the new part, because it's a quadratic, that means it's going to have two answers because it's a square. You're going to have both of these. You're going to say m plus 2 equals 0, and then you're going to say m plus 1 equals 0. So you have two of them to equal 0 because they're being multiplied. And then we solve. So the opposite of plus 2 is minus 2. So m equals negative 2. And the opposite of positive 1 is minus 1. So m equals negative 1. These are my two answers, negative 2, negative 1. Those are my two answers. All right, let's try another one. Let's say that we have x squared plus 5x minus 14 equals 0. So again, it equals 0, so that's good. And then we factor. So we're looking for factors of negative 14 that give us positive 5. So 1 and 14 or 2 and 7. 1 and 14 is never going to make 5, but I could do 2 and 7. And to get 5, I would need this to be a negative 2. So I have x minus 2 and x plus 7 equals 0. And now what you're going to do is you're going to set each one equal to 0. So x minus 2 equals 0. And then x plus 7 equals 0. And now we solve. The opposite of minus 2 is plus 2. And then the opposite of minus or plus 7 is minus 7. So these cancel. So my two answers are 2 and negative 7. Okay, now let's try one that's a little bit different. Let's say that we have x squared plus 15x equals negative 36. So this one, we have a problem. This does not equal 0. So before you factor, you have to make it equal 0. So to make it equal 0, you have to move this piece. So I want this to be 0. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put plus 36 here. And then I'm going to put plus 36 here. So these give me 0, and that's what I want. And over here, I have x squared plus 15x plus 36. So it equals 0. So now that it equals 0, we can draw our x and factor. We want factors of 36 that add up to 15. So our factors of 36 are 1 and 36, 2 and 18, 3 and 12, 4, 9, 6 and 6. So to get 15, looks like these two. 3 plus 12 gives me 15. So I have x plus 3, x plus 12 equals 0. And now to solve, to get my two answers, I have x plus 3 equals 0, x plus 12 equals 0. And you do your opposite, so minus 3. So x equals negative 3, and minus 12. X equals negative 12. So my answers are negative 3 and negative 12. Okay, I will show you, I'll show you one more just to make sure. So let's say we have n squared minus 5n equals 24. So this one is special because we have to change it because it doesn't equal 0. So the opposite of 24 is negative 24. So we have to do that on both sides. So that gives me a 0 like I want. And on this side I have n squared. So I have n squared minus 5n minus 24. Now I can factor because now I have it equal to 0. So negative 24 and negative 5. So I have 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, 4 and 6. So if I need negative 5, must be these. So 3 and 8. And one of them has to be negative because this is negative and this is negative, so I would want the 8 to be negative because it's bigger, and that would give me a negative 5. So I have n squared, no, I have n plus 3 and n minus 8 equals 0. And then my steps are to put each one equal to 0. So n plus 3 equals 0, n minus 8 equals 0. And now I do the opposite. So the opposite of plus 3 is minus 3. The opposite of minus 8 is plus 8. So you have negative 3 and positive 8 for your answers. Okay, so now go to Canvas and try the practice problems.